we're only halfway through. We could have Westlife radio for about another week and still not get all their hits in. But it gives me great pleasure to say good afternoon, Shane, Mark, and Cian.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. But listen,
That was a nice montage there of our songs.
I know, but there's so many. Like I was working out. If you guys actually played all your hits on stage, you'd probably be on stage for about 4 days.
Well, I mean, we're very blessed when it comes to planning our live tours that we've got a high class problem of which kind of hit song do you leave out? Not to God, that sounds quite arrogant actually, but it's something that we struggle with every year. Is you're going like, what do you mean we're not going to do If I Let You Go or Fool Again? It was number 1 for 2. You know what I mean? It's like it's a fantastic position to be in, really.
You're the only band I know could start off with 28 encores and then do the gig. You know what I mean?
It's mad. It's crazy. But we're blessed with that kind of support from our fans and stuff, and it's going to be some greatest hits when it comes out.
You're not wrong. Box set. That's what I say. I got to ask you, right? This morning through the post, I received the new hard copy of your 11th album called Gravity. Now, do you still get excited whenever you actually get the product, get the CD that you've been working on in your hand?
Well, this time around, what we can speak for, which is fresh in our minds, we're very excited. We actually haven't got the finished. We've got the sort of mocked up version, which is probably what you have.
Yeah.
But we haven't got the finished album yet because that's actually being made at the moment in a big factory somewhere. But we get very, very excited about it. We work long days for weeks and months on end to make the album. So when it's finished, it's a beautiful moment, and you can kind of stand back and look at it or listen to it, and you have this overwhelming feeling of how worth it was.
How do you know when it's over? How do you know when it's complete?
Well, you don't really. I suppose, we finish our vocals and then there's an awful lot gets done after that. The record has to be mixed and, extra instruments are added, or sometimes we might record to just like, a piano and a beat or something like that, and it all comes back a completely different sound. So really, the day it gets mastered is the day it's finished. And, that basically means that the producer brings it into a studio and everything is leveled off the same level. So, one song isn't louder than the other. And then that's when it's finished, when it's mastered.
Well, Cian, tell me, we're talking about producers there. Tell me about this new producer, John Shanks, rather.
Yeah, John Shanks, basically he's an American guy who's had like 47, can you believe, #1s in the US. And he produced the last 2 Take That albums, the 2 albums since the comeback tour, or since the comeback of Take That, he's done them. That's probably the most recent pop thing that he's done on this side of the world. But, Bon Jovi, Alanis Morissette, Sheryl Crow. I mean, the guy is like, we're talking Celine Dion, we're talking like some of the biggest artists in the world. He's made their music for them and produced their records. And we were really, really lucky to have him make this whole album. He made every record every song on this album for us. And that's something that we've never done before, one producer making the whole record. So we're very excited about it. We feel it's a cracking album. But, the thing about it is we big up our albums every year before they get released. And we kind of feel like there's no need to do it with this one. It'll do it itself, that kind of way.
It'll speak for itself. Mark, the other thing, no cover versions at all.
Well, there is actually some covers on there.
Oh, are there?
Yeah. See, the thing is, I think there's like 2 different types of covers. There's literally like us doing a version of "Bleeding Love" by Leon Lewis now or something, which is like a song that's already really famous. That's one type of cover, which we have been guilty of doing in the past, in fairness. And then the other type of cover is where you take a song that's not known at all, practically, and we do our own unique version of it. And to me, and I think to us as a band, the second type of cover, which What About Now was really, versus say Mandy being one of the other types, which is the really well-known song, we gravitate. See what I've done there?
Gravitate. I love that. I like that.
We always think that there's a time and place for a cover, and we done one song called Chances on the album, which is by a band called Athlete, and that song was actually suggested by Simon, who actually got the suggestion from Richard Curtis, the movie producer.
Simon
Cowell.
Oh yeah,
a few people might have heard of him.
Yeah.
So that's Chances, and then the other song is a Hoobastank song called The Reason. So they're the
Great
two
song.
songs we've done. They're fantastic songs, and we stand by them, and we don't care about the people who kind of get maybe a little bit over obsessed by the cover no cover thing. You know, we've got 10 original songs on there, and our first single is an original song. So we have no problems doing covers. I think some people get a bit hung up on that. I know at one point of our career we probably did shoot ourselves in the foot by going a little bit too far down that road, and we understand that. So you know,
I suppose the difference is that you Westlife it, if you pardon the expression, because it becomes, you own the song, you've made it your type of song.
Yeah, definitely. I think there has been songs where we have kind of done that. I think "You Raise Me Up" is another great example of a song that we brought into the kind of pop mainstream. It was a really gospely song before that. It was more like a hymn, and we brought it to a Westlife style song, and that's what we try and do with our voices. As soon as we put our voices on a song, especially a song that's not well known, it just becomes our own straight away.
Well, guys, we're going to break for the news very briefly, and then we're going to come back and we'll have a chat to you about coming back to your hometown, so to speak, in Belfast. You're playing in the Odyssey
That's right.
next year. But right now, we'll break for the news this afternoon. The headlines read by Anne-Marie Foster.
Go on,
Thanks,
Ad.
Alan.